to fully commit to any path in life, it is essential to begin with clarity. Envisioning with clarity means going beyond mere wishful thinking. It's about crafting a vision so vivid and detailed that it becomes a tangible presence within your mind and heart. Dr. Wayne Dyer often said, "You'll see it when you believe it," capturing the essence of what it means to embrace the power of belief. When you believe in the possibilities your vision holds, you awaken a creative force within yourself. This force, fueled by intention and clarity, propels you forward and aligns the universe to support your goals. Creating a clear vision is a process of quiet reflection and deep honesty. It's about moving past the noise of day-to-day life and allowing yourself to connect with what truly matters. This clarity begins with an understanding of your purpose, of what excites you, what ignites your passion, and what brings you peace. Often we are encouraged to pursue goals that meet others' expectations or that align with societal definitions of success. But when we dig deep, we realize that true fulfillment comes from within. Take time to ask yourself, what truly makes me come alive? This question might feel simple, yet it's one that many people never take the time to answer genuinely. A clear vision is one that is inspired by your authentic self rather than shaped by external pressures. When Dr. Dyer spoke about envisioning with clarity, he emphasized the power of imagination. Our imaginations are gifts, tools for creation. Imagine yourself already living in the reality you desire. Picture it in as much detail as possible. What are you doing? Who are you surrounded by? How do you feel each morning as you rise and move through your day? Envisioning with clarity is not just about visualizing external achievements, it's about immersing yourself in the essence of what you wish to experience. This act of visualization should be vivid enough to elicit genuine emotions. When you can feel the joy, peace, or excitement of your desired outcome, you know you are envisioning with clarity. The beauty of this process is that when you truly believe in your vision, it shifts your mindset. You begin to see opportunities and possibilities where others see obstacles. This shift isn't magic, it's the result of your mind filtering information and experiences in alignment with your beliefs. If you believe something is possible, your brain becomes attuned to recognizing ways to make it happen. This is why people who have a clear vision are often described as lucky or gifted. In reality, they are simply open and receptive to opportunities drawn to them through the power of a focused mind. Dr. Dyer also taught that our visions and beliefs are interconnected. When we create a vision for ourselves, we must also nurture beliefs that support it. If, for example, your vision is to create a successful business, you must hold the belief that you are capable, resilient, and deserving of success. Many people set out with an exciting vision but are held back by limiting beliefs, such as "I'm not good enough" or "success is for other people." These beliefs are like weights that prevent us from soaring. Envisioning with clarity requires identifying and releasing these beliefs so that our inner landscape supports the vision we wish to manifest. To do this, try examining any doubts that arise and questioning their validity. Ask yourself, is this belief true? Where did it come from? Often you'll find that limiting beliefs are inherited from past experiences or the words of others. By recognizing them for what they are, you begin to disarm their power. Another essential part of envisioning with clarity is setting aside time regularly to reconnect with your vision. Dr. Dyer encouraged people to meditate and reflect daily. In a busy world, it's easy for our visions to become clouded or lost altogether. By taking a few moments each day to focus on your vision, you reinforce its presence in your life and keep it vivid. This practice isn't about obsessing over the details, rather, it's about maintaining a sense of alignment and joy around what you're creating. Think of it as tending to a garden. Without regular care, weeds of doubt and distraction can grow, but with consistent attention, your vision remains vibrant and alive. It's also worth noting that clarity does not mean rigidity. Dr. Dyer taught us to remain open to the flow of life, and this applies to our vision as well. Sometimes, as we grow and evolve, our vision may change. What we once desired may no longer resonate with us, and that's perfectly natural. Envisioning with clarity means being honest with ourselves and allowing our vision to evolve if it no longer aligns with our truth. This openness doesn't dilute our commitment, rather, it allows us to stay true to our essence. True clarity isn't about having every detail mapped out, it's about knowing the core of what we want and being open to the ways in which life will shape that vision. Ultimately, envisioning with clarity is an act of love and self-respect. It's a way of saying to ourselves, I believe in my worthiness and my power to create a life I love. When we embrace this level of self-belief, we tap into the universal energy that Dr. Dyer spoke about so often. We move through life with a sense of purpose and joy, and this energy becomes magnetic. Doors open, connections form, and what once seemed out of reach comes closer with each step. So, if there is one takeaway about envisioning with clarity, let it be this: your vision is not merely a dream, it is the seed of your reality. Nurture it, believe in it, and let it guide you. When you see it clearly and when you believe it fully, you open yourself to a world of limitless possibilities. And that, in itself, is a beautiful commitment to the life you deserve. To commit fully to a meaningful path, releasing the need for approval is essential. Dr. Wayne Dyer often spoke about this concept, encouraging people to break free from the limitations imposed by others' opinions and expectations. He reminded us that true fulfillment comes not from conforming to external pressures, but from aligning with our inner truth. Releasing the need for approval is about embracing our authentic selves, knowing that the only validation that truly matters is our own. Seeking approval is a natural human tendency, deeply ingrained in our social conditioning. From an early age, we are often taught to measure our worth by others' reactions. We look to parents, teachers, and friends for validation, hoping their approval will reinforce our value. While this external validation can be affirming, it can also become a barrier to living authentically. When we rely too heavily on others' approval, we risk shaping our lives to fit their expectations rather than following our own inner guidance. Dr. Dyer would often say, "What other people think of you is none of your business." This powerful statement encourages us to turn our attention inward and focus on how we perceive ourselves. Releasing the need for approval doesn't mean disregarding others entirely. It's about recognizing that everyone views the world through their own lens, shaped by their experiences, beliefs, and biases. Their opinions are reflections of their own perspectives, not definitive truths about who we are. Understanding this can be liberating. When we realize that other people's opinions don't define us, we give ourselves the freedom to be who we truly are, without fear of judgment or rejection. We begin to live for ourselves, honoring our values and aspirations rather than molding ourselves to fit an image that pleases others. One of the keys to releasing the need for approval is cultivating self-acceptance. Self-acceptance involves embracing both our strengths and our perceived imperfections, knowing that we are enough just as we are. Dr. Dyer often encouraged people to celebrate their uniqueness, reminding us that we are each here to express our own divine purpose. When we are comfortable in our own skin, we stop looking outward for validation. We recognize that our worth is intrinsic and not dependent on meeting anyone else's standards. This shift from external approval to internal acceptance is transformative. It allows us to approach life with confidence and self-assuredness, knowing that we are complete within ourselves. Letting go of approval seeking also requires a willingness to accept that not everyone will understand or agree with us, and that's okay. When we pursue our authentic path, we may encounter resistance, criticism, or even disapproval. This is particularly true when our choices challenge conventional norms or disrupt others' expectations. But as Dr. Dyer often taught, other people's discomfort with our authenticity is not a reflection of our worth. It's a reflection of their own insecurities or limitations. When we stop trying to gain everyone's approval, we become resilient to criticism. We understand that those who truly care for us will support us, even if they don't fully understand our journey. Another significant aspect of releasing the need for approval is developing inner trust. Trusting ourselves means having faith in our own judgment, intuition, and abilities. When we look within for guidance, we strengthen our inner voice, allowing it to lead us instead of the voices of others. Dr. Dyer believed that each of us has a deep well of wisdom within, and that by tuning into it, we can find all the answers we seek. By trusting ourselves, we become the authors of our own lives, creating experiences that align with our true purpose rather than following a path dictated by others' expectations. This inner trust is what enables us to walk our path with confidence, regardless of others' opinions. Breaking free from approval seeking is also about embracing vulnerability. Living authentically means showing up as we truly are, which can feel uncomfortable, especially if we fear judgment or rejection. However, vulnerability is not weakness, it is a sign of strength. When we allow ourselves to be seen as we truly are, we create space for genuine connection and growth. Dr. Dyer reminded us that those who truly matter in our lives will accept us for who we are. By letting go of the need to be liked by everyone, we open ourselves up to deeper, more meaningful relationships built on authenticity and mutual respect. Ultimately, releasing the need for approval is a journey of self-liberation. It is an invitation to step into our power and live from a place of authenticity and self-worth. This journey may not always be easy, especially in a world that often rewards conformity. Yet, as Dr. Dyer would say, the rewards of living authentically far outweigh the comfort of fitting in. When we live true to ourselves, we experience a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. We no longer feel the need to impress others or seek their validation. Instead, we find joy and purpose in being exactly who we are. So releasing the need for approval allows us to align with our own truth, to make choices based on our values and desires, and to live a life that feels meaningful and satisfying. This liberation is what Dr. Dyer would call a return to our true nature, a state of being that is free, empowered, and deeply connected to our purpose. By letting go of approval seeking, we reclaim our power and step into a life that is truly our own. We discover that the only validation we need is the quiet assurance within ourselves that we are enough, just as we are. Embracing discipline in daily action is one of the most essential principles in creating a fulfilling and purposeful life. Dr. Wayne Dyer often spoke of the power of consistent, intentional action as a key to achieving our dreams. Discipline is not about rigid control or forcing ourselves into routines we despise. Rather, it's about cultivating habits that honor our highest goals and align with our intentions. When we approach discipline from a place of love and self-respect, we create a foundation that supports our growth and empowers us to move steadily toward our vision. In many ways, discipline is a form of self-care. When we commit to a goal, we must also commit to nurturing it each day. This process requires effort, persistence, and sometimes a willingness to step outside our comfort zones. Discipline teaches us that growth is not instantaneous. It's a process that unfolds through the accumulation of small, consistent actions over time. Dr. Dyer would often emphasize that abundance is not something we acquire, it is something we tune into. In this sense, discipline is how we tune into our potential, choosing actions that align with the life we wish to create. By taking daily steps toward our goals, we signal to ourselves and the universe that we are serious about our intentions. Daily action does not have to be grand or overwhelming. Often it's the small, seemingly insignificant actions that bring about the most profound changes over time. For instance, if you wish to become healthier, choosing to exercise for 10 minutes each day may seem minor, but the cumulative effect over weeks and months can be transformative. Dr. Dyer believed that our habits shape our lives, and by choosing actions that serve our highest good, we gradually align with the reality we desire. This approach allows us to avoid the burnout that can come from trying to make drastic changes all at once. Instead, we embrace the power of incremental progress, knowing that each step forward, no matter how small, is a valuable part of our journey. One of the biggest challenges with discipline is staying consistent, especially when motivation wanes. Motivation is often fueled by excitement or the initial thrill of starting something new, but it's discipline that keeps us going when that excitement fades. Discipline is what allows us to show up even on days when we may not feel particularly inspired. Dr. Dyer would remind us that you are not a human doing, you are a human being. Discipline is about connecting with the essence of our being, choosing actions that reflect our values and aspirations. When we embrace discipline, we build resilience and develop a strong foundation that can withstand setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. A significant part of embracing discipline is recognizing that every action we take contributes to our growth. Often we think that progress only happens when we achieve big milestones, but true progress occurs in the small daily choices we make. Dr. Dyer often taught about the importance of being present and mindful. When we approach each day with awareness, we realize that each action, no matter how small, is an opportunity to honor our goals. This perspective helps us stay connected to our vision, allowing us to appreciate the journey instead of constantly chasing the destination. It transforms discipline from a chore into a meaningful practice of self-commitment. To cultivate discipline, it's also helpful to develop routines that support our goals. Routines create structure, making it easier to follow through with our intentions. For example, if your goal is to write a book, creating a daily writing routine, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, establishes a rhythm that becomes second nature over time. Routines reduce the mental energy required to make decisions about when or how to work on our goals. They create a sense of flow, allowing us to engage in daily action without overthinking or debating whether we feel like it. Dr. Dyer would encourage us to view routines as sacred rituals that align us with our highest purpose. When we approach our routines with reverence, we infuse our daily actions with intention and love. Discipline is also a process of building trust with ourselves. Each time we follow through on a commitment, we reinforce our belief in our own reliability. We prove to ourselves that we are capable of staying true to our word. This self-trust is incredibly empowering, as it strengthens our confidence and self-esteem. Dr. Dyer would often say that we are co-creators of our reality, and by honoring our commitments to ourselves, we actively participate in the creation of a life that reflects our deepest values. When we trust ourselves, we become less dependent on external validation, knowing that we have the inner strength to create meaningful change. At times, discipline may require us to make sacrifices, such as giving up immediate pleasures for long-term gains. However, Dr. Dyer would remind us that these sacrifices are not losses but investments in our future. For example, choosing to dedicate time to a passion project rather than watching television might feel like a sacrifice in the moment, but over time, this choice brings us closer to our true desires. Discipline teaches us to prioritize what truly matters, helping us make choices that reflect our highest intentions rather than fleeting distractions. Ultimately, embracing discipline in daily action is a journey of self-empowerment. It's a practice that deepens our connection to our goals and brings us into alignment with our potential. Dr. Dyer believed that our lives are reflections of our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. By embracing discipline, we take ownership of this process, actively shaping our reality instead of passively reacting to circumstances. Discipline gives us the power to create, to build, and to grow into the fullest version of ourselves. It reminds us that we are capable of achieving great things, not through sporadic bursts of effort, but through steady, consistent progress. As we commit to daily action, we cultivate a life of purpose, resilience, and joy. We begin to see that discipline is not about restriction, but about freedom, the freedom to pursue our dreams and live a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Dr. Dyer's teachings remind us that every small action we take is a step toward the life we envision. Through discipline, we honor our dreams, empower ourselves, and create a life that reflects our true essence. This journey may not always be easy, but it is undoubtedly worthwhile. And as we embrace discipline and take consistent daily actions, we come to realize that we are not only capable of reaching our goals, but deserving of the fulfillment and joy that come with them. Surrendering to the flow of life is a concept rooted in trust, acceptance, and inner peace. Dr. Wayne Dyer often spoke about the power of letting go, encouraging us to stop resisting life's natural course and to embrace the unfolding of events with openness and faith. To surrender doesn't mean giving up on our dreams or resigning ourselves to passivity. Instead, it means releasing the need to control every outcome, trusting that life often has a plan that aligns with our highest good. When we surrender to the flow, we open ourselves up to possibilities we might never have imagined, allowing life to reveal its wisdom in its own time. One of the first steps to surrendering is letting go of attachment. Dr. Dyer frequently reminded us that attachment to specific outcomes creates tension and resistance. When we cling tightly to a single vision or expectation, we inadvertently limit our ability to experience life's richness. Instead of allowing life to surprise us, we set rigid parameters for happiness and success. This attachment often stems from fear of the unknown, fear of failure, or fear of loss. But when we let go of these attachments, we free ourselves to experience life with greater fluidity and ease. Surrendering doesn't mean we stop caring or trying. It means we release the need to control how things unfold, trusting that everything happens for a reason, even if that reason isn't immediately clear. Another key aspect of surrendering is practicing acceptance. Dr. Dyer believed that acceptance is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate inner peace. Life is unpredictable, and often we face situations that don't go according to plan. When we resist these situations, we create internal conflict. However, when we practice acceptance, we stop fighting against reality. This doesn't mean we condone or agree with everything that happens, but we acknowledge that certain things are beyond our control. Acceptance allows us to find peace amid uncertainty and to navigate challenges with grace. By accepting what we cannot change, we preserve our energy for the things we can influence, allowing us to respond to life's twists and turns with resilience and calm. Surrendering to life's flow also involves trusting in a larger, unseen force at work. Dr. Dyer often spoke of the universe as a supportive and benevolent presence, one that guides us even when we don't fully understand its ways. This idea of trust goes hand in hand with surrender. When we trust that the universe is on our side, we become more willing to let go of control and embrace the unknown. We stop seeing setbacks and challenges as signs of failure and begin to view them as opportunities for growth and learning. Trusting in the flow of life requires faith, a belief that there is a purpose to every experience, even if that purpose isn't immediately apparent. To surrender is also to embrace flexibility. Life rarely goes according to a perfect script, and the ability to adapt is essential to our well-being. When we approach life with a flexible mindset, we become more resilient in the face of change. Dr. Dyer often reminded us that when you dance, your purpose is not to get to a certain place on the floor. It's to enjoy each step along the way. This analogy of dancing through life captures the spirit of flexibility. Rather than rushing toward a destination or resisting unexpected turns, we learn to enjoy the journey itself. Flexibility allows us to adjust to changing circumstances without losing our sense of purpose or inner peace. By surrendering to the flow, we learn to move with life rather than against it. Moreover, surrendering to the flow of life encourages us to be present. Much of our suffering comes from regretting the past or worrying about the future. When we surrender, we stop living in hypothetical scenarios and return to the present moment, where life is actually happening. Dr. Dyer often spoke about the importance of being fully present, as this is where we find true peace and clarity. In the present moment, we're not caught up in what might have been or what could be, we're simply engaged with what is. This presence enables us to respond to life with a clear mind and an open heart, making it easier to adapt and accept whatever comes our way. Surrendering also means acknowledging that life's timing may be different from our own. We often want things to happen on our schedule, but sometimes the timing of events is beyond our understanding, Doctor. Dyer would say that the universe operates with a wisdom far greater than our own. By surrendering to this divine timing, we allow things to unfold naturally without forcing outcomes. This doesn't mean we don't work toward our goals, rather it means we remain patient and trust that what is meant for us will come when the time is right. This kind of surrender helps us cultivate patience and resilience, knowing that there is a season for everything and that rushing the process often leads to frustration and disappointment. Finally, surrendering to the flow of life is about releasing the ego's need for control. Our egos often push us to prove ourselves, to achieve a specific vision of success, or to maintain a certain image. But these ego-driven desires can create stress and anxiety. Surrendering means stepping back from the ego's demands and tuning into our inner wisdom, which is quieter, more peaceful, and far more resilient. Dr. Dyer taught that our true essence is not our accomplishments or the roles we play, it's something far deeper. When we connect with this essence, we realize that we are enough just as we are without needing to manipulate life to fit a certain narrative. This realization brings a profound sense of freedom and inner peace. Surrendering to the flow of life is an act of courage and self-compassion. It's about trusting that we don't have to control everything to be safe, successful, or happy. When we surrender, we allow life to surprise us, to guide us, and to support us in ways we may not expect. We open ourselves up to a life of greater joy, resilience, and purpose, knowing that whatever comes our way, we have the strength and wisdom to navigate it with grace.